Welcome to Depression Ain't It with Chanel John, where I share my tips from my ongoing journey of overcoming depression and anxiety because I want a life that I love, don't you? Join me every Sunday for what's new. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Depression Ain't It with Chanel John, and today we are going to be talking about what makes you happy. But before we get into all that, I want to tell you about my wonderful trip to Costa Rica. I just had the time of my life for a week in Costa Rica. One of my closest friends just got married to her special love, and it was an amazing trip. I got to be around people. It's like my New York family that I haven't been around in so many years, and it was such a healing experience for me. And literally, I am still on a high from the trip. I have never felt so in my element, so beautiful, so free, so comfortable in my own skin. And I did a whole post about the insaneness, the craziness it took for me to even manifest this trip, because it got down to the wire and I didn't think I was even going to make it. I did a whole video on that on my YouTube channel, which is Chanel John, spelled with SH and ELLE at the end, just in case you didn't know. So you can check it out over there and hear about that side of the story. But just so y'all know, I feel renewed. I feel more empowered in my space and in my body. So, I'm going to talk about what it is to have that inner happiness. So let's, slide right on into that. So the question I want to ask you guys is, what brings you joy and peace? These are like important components for being happy, right? And men always say that they need a woman that brings them peace. Well, guess what? I need some peace too. Okay, I want some peace in my life, whether it's the man I'm dating, the friends I have in my life, the people you have around you, your roommate, for goodness sakes. You want some peace. But I do understand what men are saying about wanting peace at home, because I could have a great day outside, and if I come home and there's turmoil in the house, or there's something always triggering me at home, I would not feel great about life either. So I understand that on a whole completely new level now. And this may be slightly off topic, but have you guys ever heard a man say that to you? Like, I want peace when I come home. And have you thought about that? Are you peace, or are you toxic? Do you like bringing the drama? Do you think it's cute? Like, what work are you doing on yourself to be that peace? And are you receiving that peace? Side note, just a little sidebar. And then we can talk about joy. But there's levels to joy, right? And happiness. Like, there's high, extremely high, like a wedding day. That's like a high level of joy and happiness. And then there's just being able to have your regular coffee in the morning, or waking up with a smile on your face, just a little laughter. Like, what level of joy and happiness do you need on a daily basis? It is said that the reason we could feel so unhappy is because we are constantly living in past moments of our lives. The sins of the past keep us in a dark, dark room. Joe Dispenza says that we are not punished for our sins, we are punished by our sins. And that's something I really resonate with. When you continuously replay an old pain, it starts to put 20 on 10. Like, you start remembering extra details or things that may have not even happened the way you think it did, because your body just wants to, it starts being addicted to that feeling, and so it's like adding to it, and then you start attracting all kind of negative things around you in your energy. It's just an awful rabbit hole to go down. And Neville Goddard talks about this all the time too, and there's a whole talk he has called Sound Investments, and he talks about if you're investing with your thoughts or if you're spending with your thoughts. It is an incredible lecture. You must check it out. It really makes you think about the way you think and how much you invest in negative things or positive things, or I should say things that are beneficial to you, instead of things that are negative to, or just not directional in the way you're trying to go. And they say the meaning of sin is missing the mark. And so every time you spend time focusing on that negative direction, you are missing the mark of the destination you're trying to go to. It's a difficult thing to spend time. I'm not even going to put that in the atmosphere. It's not difficult to try and, change your thoughts, practice changing your thoughts. It just takes practice. It really does. Like, there's day 1 and day 30, practice makes perfect, all those things that people say. And it really does help when you just catch yourself in the moment and able to switch direction. Because instead of being addicted to that same pain, try to get yourself addicted to the good feeling of a happy thought. And yes, I did say addicted, because negative thoughts, being unhappy, depression is a different kind of a drug. Thankfully, it's not crack cocaine or something like that, but it's still a form of a drug that you keep going back to. Your body gets used to that feeling, that trigger, that anxiety, and it constantly looks for something else to trigger it again. So we can switch that around and have our body get used to that happy feeling, and it look for something else to trigger that happy feeling again. Whether that is something as light as the coffee you drink, or going for a morning walk, or a workout. When I was growing up, Hook was one of my favorite films, and watching it as an adult, I can see it as this manifesting movie, because what you call the little boy named Peter Pan? Peter Pan could not fly without his happy thought and believing in fairies. So what you believe in helps you to manifest certain things. You ever see that? Oh, you ain't never seen that? And there's that whole scene when he starts flying, and then he realizes he's flying, he freaks out, and he starts to fall, and Tinkerbell just yells like, "Just hold on to that happy thought, Peter!" And he just stops mid-air, and he's able to fly around the whole of the land. Like, did you ever know they was teaching us how to manifest when we were kids? So I had put in my reminders for an everyday reminder to remember that happy thought, right? So for Peter Pan, it was like his kids. And I don't have any kids yet, but I thought the future manifestation of my kids and my husband was a happy thought I would hold on to. Because a happy thought doesn't have to be something that's present, it could be something in the future. And that's a way of manifesting things, guys. But what's stronger for me right now is just how I feel good in my body, and I'm owning my body. And even though it's not perfect, or in how I would think it would be perfect in my head, I still feel good. And it really feels like when I breathe now, I feel like, when you have a fresh drink, something like some nice cold water, and it's refreshing, that's what it feels like to breathe right now in my skin. And I just want to hold on to that feeling for as long as possible, because it feels good. I've never felt like that in my own body, I think we spend so much time focusing on actions that we have to do to get to a place of happiness, instead of focusing on the feeling of happiness. So let's talk about things like, what do you want? So I want $1 million. Oh, I want 10 million. Say 100 million, just to be on the safe side, right? And the reason I want millions of dollars is not really about the money, it's about the freedom. If I had lots of money, I could spend time doing things that I want to do instead of things that I hate doing, just to be able to function in life, So money brings freedom for me, but what does freedom look like for me? What is it that I would want to do with those freedoms. That would be working out, that would be traveling, that would be spending time with people I love, that would be creating content. Those are the things that make me feel free and that I enjoy doing. So how can I incorporate that feeling of freedom right now? That's just an idea. So this past week, I've noticed such a change in my personality. Things haven't been the greatest in my world of usually when things aren't going right with bills and stuff like that, I'd be panicking, I'd be full of anxiety. And this past week, it's just been like, well, it is what it is, and I'm still going to be able to be in a space where I enjoy myself and my life and be calm about it. And when it can be fixed, it can be fixed. That's just that. And I've never been that person, ever. And it feels great to see such a change within myself. But I think I was just frustrated with the idea. I'm not even going to say I was frustrated because I haven't been frustrated. I just was noticing that I thought with these changes within myself, I would have started to see them manifest on the outside, and they haven't yet. But then today I realized that if they had started to happen, I would assume I would be grateful for those changes on the outside and not the work I had done on the inside. And so if anything went wrong, there goes my mood. And it's amazing to me that I've done so much work on the inside that I have such gratitude on the inside that things on the outside now can no longer shake me on that level. And that right there is so much joy, and I think it's taken me so long to even realize that. Now I have a stronger foundation so that a man can't control my happiness, or a job can't control my happiness, or some of money can't control my happiness. You know what I mean? I can still stand strong. They always say, like, when you get a win, actors would say, when you book a job, not to get too excited about it, because when you don't book a job, you know that low is too low, and it's a way of controlling your emotions. But you should be able to celebrate your wins and enjoy happy moments and happy times. But if something goes away or is taken away, you have to be able to still have a level of happiness and foundation in yourself, your core. And working on that core is my number one goal, just to keep building on what I've created so far. You get me? You know, it's crazy to be in this space and just feel like I like this new me. I don't ever want to go back to that old person. And I feel it trying to sometimes push its way back in. And I'm like, just let go of that. Let go of those old memories. Let go of the old person. Let go of the past. Let go of anything that's trying to stay attached to me, and enjoy being in this present moment and just see where it takes me. Because, you know, being stuck in that cycle of a life that brought me to the point of where I was, and don't get me wrong, it brought me pretty far. I made it all the way to Los Angeles. Like, getting here was definitely a trip, and one day I'll tell you the whole story. But being able to now say that person brought me this far, I'm ready to become a new person to go to the next level, is where my focus is at. And being free of everything that comes with that. And even if that's the people that come with that, there's the people that come with you along the journey, and there's the people that don't. And all of that is great, and I welcome it all. You guys, thank you so much for tapping in with me today, and I really appreciate you. Please go on Spotify, answer the questions, let me know what you think so far. I'd love to hear your feedback. And until next time, I have any thoughts you'd like to share? Or any tips that you've used to overcome depression and anxiety? Hit the link. I'd love to hear how you're overcoming. Until next Sunday.